I really didn't like everyone having all that shit all over them. And then it went away. And then Goldie went away. And it was like, damn, I kind of miss him because
Yeah.
it gave so much more individuality to the fighters. Then I heard like Mighty Mouse, who never was a high pay, who was one of the best fighters in the world, but never was like on the top of the pay scales. Like, well, this is kind of nice. I don't have to hunt down shady sponsors for my money. I know Reebok's good for the check. On the other hand, there's so many people who took a huge pay cut. The UFC is allowed to get other sponsors, but the fighters aren't. Fight week, they can only wear Reebok apparel or it can't have a label on it. I do think having some sort of standardization is the right direction, but they need to open up to the fighters should be able to get just as many sponsors as the UFC does.
I see what you're saying. They shouldn't be limited, or they shouldn't be
Yeah, they're
handicapped.
really handicapped right now, and they have other ones like Roxanne. Go back to she's really smart. So what she does, she has her Amazon wish list and puts it out there, and people get her stuff.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
other people do other charity events, like everyone has a CBD deal who's a blue belt and over or whatever. Um, so you have that, but because they can't, I'm sure they're not offering the same type of money they would be if they were like, if you had Red Hole CBD across your behind, in a cage or whatever it is, or Condom Depot. But it was then. The
Oh,
bottom line for me is I want the fighters to be able to earn every red penny they can, and anything that hinders that is bad. This kind of went both directions. It was like a Chinese finger trap. It went both directions at the same time and got them stuck.
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's pluses, of course. We all know that it helped establish the UFC is always in a battle to legitimize. No matter how
Yes.
far they get, they always feel like they're an underdog. They always feel like that they're one bad night away from going into obscurity, which
Yep.
is the history of MMA. I mean, in Brazil, one bad night, it was gone.
Oh, yesterday was the anniversary of the brawl with was it the Diaz brothers, Jake Shields against Jason Mayhem Miller
Yep,
on
exactly.
Strike Force.
That's right. And all of a sudden, that's like, okay, we can't deal
That
with this
almost
anymore.
destroyed things.
That
That
almost
shit was
destroyed things.
nuts.
So the UFC is always on pins and needles. That's why he was fighting
Yeah.
so hard to do the last event, because he was like, they're just fighting for relevance. No matter how relevant they are, they're
We're fighting for
always
relevance,
fighting. They're
yeah.
still fighting for
And I
relevance.
feel that.
Yeah, and it's crazy. So I think what the Reebok deal was like, okay, we can put uniforms on our players. We're like, basketball has Nike. We got Reeboks. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yep.
We're getting there. I mean, I like it. I just think that the designs was whack. I mean,
Yes. So the skull crossbones and like a skeleton with a boner or something, and then you might have a witch like burning a puppy or something. Like some of the shit was just. It was like someone gave a 12-year-old money and no limitations.
or
It was
Dennis
just
Hallman thong, or you get a thong
yeah,
with a smiley face on it. You get one of those
exactly. But
jams.
there has to be a middle ground where we can have clean uniforms, presentable, but the fighters have access to more money.
No, here's what you have to do. I mean, I don't know. I'm not anybody. I'm not Dana White. I'm far from him. Shit, I got my hair,
You're
but
what? You're not white.
yeah, I'm not a lot of things that Dana White is, and thank God. But one thing that you can do. I mean, a lot of people don't want to relate UFC or MMA to WWE, but you have to create characters, meaning that you have to invest some type of marketing money. Like they should have their own clothing line. And not just a
100%.
not just a generic fight kit. I mean, like this is my style. Like they can come in with their style, develop their style, sit down with a designer, get the whole thing, get the whole graphics up. They can do like exhibitions. They can be out there in the public and all that stuff. They can
They could
build their
even do
brand.
that through Reebok. Have them
Yeah,
sit
they
down with
can.
designer Reebok. This is the Holly Holm Reebok line, and it's a bunch of punches hitting air. It
Yeah.
could be
a, bunch of, a bunch of loud "Kya, kya."
okay, yeah, exactly, whatever it is. But then they get like so it's something that's a little different. It could be whatever it is. It could be I have no
Well,
idea. It could be
John
Henry
Jones, it could
Cejudo,
be. Yeah, go ahead.
whatever the Cejudo line, and let them have some. I'm sure they have some input, but let it really reflect that. And then if the UFC can be sponsored by Modelo's, why can't the fighters? If the UFC can be sponsored by Spider-Man 12, why can't the fighters?
I think some of them are though. Some of them like what's his name? The Gracie Jiu Jitsu guy. He always with Hannah. He always does T City. Brian
Oh
Ortega.
yeah, Brian
Yeah,
Ortega.
yeah. He's sponsored by Modelo.
Yeah, he's in the commercial, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, he might have just gotten a cut of the commercial, maybe get some residuals off of that. But
I've seen a few people. They come in occasion. They have an extra sponsor logo on.
What?
Them.
He has an extra beard, and it's like that's a sponsorship. Here, Evan Waddell. Thanks.
Just in there, punch with one hand,
Yep.
pick it up, bam, bam.